Hey y'all, let's talk insecure. So listen, I'm putting the woman and Black woman views. I have got my girls together. We did our first Zoom party for the Insecure premiere, but I wanted to get their feedback because we had some spicy commentary. So I have my girl Rebecca, Monica, Season, and Charlotte, and we're gonna talk about episode 4 of Insecure. All right, first initial responses. Was this a thumbs up or a thumbs down episode? What you got, ladies? What you got?
No, so episodes.
Oh, come on.
It was okay.
It was okay, right?
Was okay.
Rebecca, you started off. Why was it just okay?
I don't know. It just it's a little lackluster for me, and the storyline was lackluster. And I just think that there's some underlying things, communication that needs to happen. So, yeah, it wasn't much of a
okay.
It wasn't intense.
Yeah, I did lack. Intensity probably wasn't there. It was more of a slow burn type of episode. Like it definitely feels like a building episode. Yeah. Monica, what were your thoughts? You were like kind of almost on the upside.
It was thumbs up.
You were thumbs up. Go ahead. If you were thumbs up, girl, go ahead. Say why you were thumbs up.
I was very in the middle. To your point about we're at episode 4. I don't know how many episodes there are, like if there's 8 or 10, but at this point, and I get it, it's 30 minutes, it's a 30-minute, situation or whatever, but we should, there should be more building than what has been. Finally glad that Tiffany had her baby.
Woo! Thank God. That was the longest pregnancy ever. See, I was going to have her baby before Tiffany had her baby. I was like, God damn, Christina Milian done had a baby. Who else had a baby?
Yeah. So it just was one of those situations where, to Rebecca's point too, the conversations that need to be had between several individuals. And it just was like, I don't know, it just left me at like, okay, like, here we go again. I'm really trying to root for this show, but
Okay, Charlotte, you go ahead. I'm gonna save Season for the last because I already know she's gonna go in. So Charlotte, what were your thoughts?
So in comparison to last season and the last 3 episodes, I felt like this was a thumbs up because we were finally getting some traction to the storyline.
Yeah.
Although it did have some limp dick moments, it was still like some good forward traction.
Yeah. Okay, Season, what you got?
Honestly, I'm already starting to forget the episode. But for me, I just felt like it was 3 really awkward interactions between Molly and Issa, and then Molly trying to get her footing with her new boyfriend. And it's just like, so I was in the middle. It was obvious in the first episode that this season was going to be heavily centered on Issa and Molly's relationship. So I kind of see why they made but it's like it's the 4th episode. Y'all haven't talked. Y'all still taking nonstop shots at each other. And we're talking about 3 months have passed now.
That is true.
Of just straight coming for you, beefing, and it's like, well, has she mentioned something to you? Has she? So then, but it's like, I feel like I can understand their dynamic, but at the same time, me being my age and I just know I would have confronted that shit a long time ago, man. 3 months beefing with my bestie that.
Yeah. The deterioration just definitely seems really petty, to be honest with you. And I'm thinking Molly, didn't we spend a whole, season and a half of Molly in therapy? She's clearly not applying any of her lessons that she learned in therapy to her relationship with Andrew or her relationship to Molly. What is the beef? I understand that Molly was jealous of Condola, who, by the way, where the fuck is Condola at?
Condola and Lawrence broke up. That's what
I think so too.
I think so too.
I think so too. So, I guess Issa just has a ghost bae and ghost friend situation because, okay, Condola, you and Lawrence, whatever the hell happened with y'all, but why are you just gonna ghost on Issa? She needs your ass because you've been the savior. So it kind of makes me wonder about Condola's motives. Like if you were just a woman who was about your shit, about your business, and you were really helping Issa, then whatever happened with her and Lawrence, which we don't know, should not have affected it.
It shouldn't have. But remember the last episode.
We can't say that. Like they were in a 5-year relationship. That just away overnight. Like this isn't just like some jump off or some random dude she was sleeping with. Like this was her live-in boyfriend. And
but what's Condola's excuse for ghosting Issa?
That's awkward.
Couldn't take it.
That's awkward AF.
Okay, so you think it's jealousy?
Was about the fact that him and Issa still have this this friendship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could very well see from her perspective why she would ghost both of them. Like both of y'all are stressors. I'm good.
Rebecca, what do you think?
Yeah, I was just thinking, just based off of the last episode when they met at the restaurant or at the coffee house,
Mm-hmm.
she was a little jealous. She was like, she couldn't find her place with Lawrence like Issa has it, right? So I think there was a little bit of jealousy there. Maybe she can't emotionally handle that type of relationship and not being able to have that type of relationship with him.
But Monica, just the last episode, she was saying that Lawrence invited herself. Her Condola's friend was saying that Lawrence was basically like her fun boy. So why all of a sudden is she just completely ghosting? I mean, isn't there a disconnect there in terms of the plot?
Yeah. Well, I think Lawrence was going to fill in that gap today, but they shouldn't have stretched it out another episode or two, because now I guess Lawrence might show up to the block party, but that's a month later. So it's like, can we start tying up some loose ends here? Because we need this confrontation between Molly and Issa. Let's do that.
Yeah.
You know, the block party looks like it's gonna be lit, you know, based on the previews. So kudos to her for that. And a lot of that can probably be some of Molly's issue with Issa too, is some people are so driven and focused that they look at someone who is kind of just waving in the wind but still kind of land on their feet, and that's the person they attack and go after. And that's what I think, that's where the Molly and Issa breakdown is when you have that type A planner, I got my shit together, I should have X, Y, and Z right now. And they look at that hot ass mess and it's just like, how are we in the same boat, girl, and you not losing your shit? How are you still sane or whatever? But Issa got a personality disorder, y'all. Where's her emotions? I need something for this girl. Her mirror image got more feelings than her.
Girl. I was happy to see
favorite part of this episode.
Non-confrontational.
Yeah, I think Issa is way too non-confrontational. I think that Molly is used to Issa's being dysfunctional and her kind of being the successful one who kind of has it together, even though she clearly doesn't. And I think that there's some resentment there. But at the same time, I'm kind of torn, because at the end of the day, Molly had a good point when she was asking Issa, like, well, why did Schoolboy drop out? Don't you have a contract? And like, and Issa was just kind of shut off from hearing that, which probably would have been a better way of rectifying it. It's using your loyal friend to go after this asshole who breached your contract. But at the same time, Molly, who was jealous of Condola helping Issa, didn't even want to lift a finger and even ask Andrew to help out Issa. And I mean, I understand why Molly thinks, okay, Issa is drama, Issa is dysfunctional, and so I don't want to get my boyfriend involved with that. But she sure didn't have a problem overstepping her bounds when it came to Ghost Bay.
But she got before that, there was a cue there that Issa missed with Molly in wanting to talk with her, and Issa being so focused on what she needed in that moment that she missed it. She missed
that is true.
As a friend to say, okay, Molly's trying to have an interaction here. Let me just take a couple of minutes and see where this goes, and then maybe ask whatever my ask or request was. And I think she missed that opportunity.
Well, I don't know if it was missed necessarily because Molly went in on her like, girl, what you do to fuck this schoolboy Q thing up? And that probably changed the tone. They probably could have got to that point.
But prior to that, yeah.
Molly definitely let off like, my weakest shit, I need to talk. And Issa was like, okay, let me just get this out real quick. But Molly just went in on her and was like, I gotta go, you know.
So do you think
Molly is
that
also a super one-way street? Like, she's a one-way street with Andrew, she's a one-way street with Issa, she's a one-way street with everybody.
Yeah, Molly
it's all about her
regardless.
Yeah.
do you think
Molly
that part of
no matter
Issa's not stepping up or standing up for herself is where she's at in her life?
Yeah, I mean, I think she just, I don't know, like, I mean, if you go back to when she was at We Got Y'all, she was a pushover then, she's a pushover to Lauren, she's just a pushover, unfortunately. I mean, but I did appreciate, I don't know if you guys caught that, she was listening to the self-help tape when she was driving, and like, if you don't define yourself, others will define you. So like, Season, why you roll your eyes?
Because that whole, first, Molly, you know you don't pull head into no parking spot, boo.
Molly was hating.
So that whole power struggle where Molly was the winner, like, no bitch, like that, like, come on, man. Molly, come on,
super
man.
passive aggressive. She's super passive aggressive.
That was like, girl, you don't even pull into no parking spot like this. Like, let's be real. You know this girl's finna park here, but it was just like, it's like she poking at Issa, and then like, you know, she's just poking at her, and I don't know where she's talking. Like, maybe y'all can fill me in because I did not watch last season, but she's like super like, oh yeah, Issa's on her old shit, and it's like
Lawrence. I think she was really being shady about Lawrence. Yeah. Monica, what do you think in terms of like, you know, with Molly just immediately jumping to like, because Lawrence was leaving and Issa was also leaving, she didn't seem to even be interested in exploring like, okay, what's happening, Issa, what's changed? She just immediately went to, there's something going on between her and Lawrence. What did you think about that part?
I definitely think it's a jealousy factor. And you know, like, it sucks to see someone that's like your best friend that isn't communicating with you, dipped out on you for Thanksgiving, hasn't reached out to you for self-care Sunday, whether they were going to cancel, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a jealousy factor. So like, you know, to all your guys' points about like Molly poking at like the parking space and the, you know, this, that, and the other, like, it's clearly, obviously, it's going to come full circle, but it just is one of those situations. And I think we've all been there before where someone that you're really close with is just, you know, they're just like heading left and you're like, what the fuck? Like you haven't reached, you know, so it will get to the point where it's just like the breaking point of a conversation, you know, and it's going to be awkward and uncomfortable, but it will happen. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, the little pettiness between them, like, you know, to Season's point, it's like, no, we're too old for this shit. Like, let's just call this shit on the rug and, you know, move on or figure out what we're going to do, because I don't have time to be doing this for, you know what I'm saying, X, Y, Z amount of time. So.
But Shar, do you think it's fair that the way that, like, Molly is clearly hurt and she misses Issa and there's some resentment there, but do you think it's fair the way that she's communicating that hurt by lashing out with this passive aggressive behavior?
Not at all. And I was going to say, to Monica's point, Issa is none the wiser that Molly has an issue. Like, Molly is the only person in this friendship that has an issue. And Molly is taking the fact that Issa is legitimately busy right now. Like, at this point, I don't think in their friendship, I think Molly was always here being a lawyer, and Issa's always been like the slacky, what do you call it? Like the slacker best friend.
Yeah.
Now Issa's like, no, like, I legit have things to do. I legit am trying to book this, you know, the show, this artist or whatnot. She's not used to Issa about her stuff. So that Issa's like actually doing business, Molly's taking it personal because he's the only one who has an issue. And Issa's like, I'm just trying to get this block party going.
Right.
Well, Issa is aware because she's the one who called Molly out on her shit in the last episode at the grocery store. So Issa is aware, and, you know, she made the decision to, you know, blow Molly off for Thanksgiving. But to me, it's just not realistic that this has gone on for months. I just like,
without
I
just
don't
stressing
care
it.
how busy you are. If you're that connected to your friend, you're that used to them for support and just your regular smuggler kiki, like this going on for months. Ain't no bitch coming for me and having an attitude with me for
No,
months
but
at
I've
a
been
time. Every interaction, girl, you gonna have to tell me what's really going on. And I don't, and that's why I'm really trying to figure out Issa's character. Like, girl, when like you, so she called Molly out in the grocery store and then decided to not address that on Thanksgiving, which was fine. But it's like, Issa, what is you doing, baby? Because you can't keep letting this girl do it come for you. I don't care how y'all relationship is set up, where maybe she's just used to Molly kind of being that bitch who gives her the tough love or the jokes that's not really a joke, but it's just very I'm not a fan of it. It's very disappointing. I'm like, okay, so we just finna watch this go on episode. Like, what's up, y'all not gonna talk?
You said that you've had a situation before, so like, how do you think it's, in what way do you think it actually is kind of like what you deal with in real life?
So I was beefing with a friend, and I didn't even know we were beefing until she was like, I don't know if this friendship is working for me. And I'm like, I thought we were good. Like, coming from. So sometimes you're in a friendship with somebody and you don't realize that they have an issue with you because they're either being passive aggressive. Right. I'm like low key throwing shade the way we typically do, but
yeah,
I'm good. And I'm like, you give me an opportunity to justify the type of friend that I am or have a conversation. And we were like really good friends since high school. Like broke up with me. And I'm like, I didn't even know we were beefing.
Oh,
I think I know I've been there before, and same thing. Like, it's like, wait, what? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you just have to kind of just chalk that up as like a loss and be like, all right, bet, cool, and know that you did everything that you can do as a friend on your end, and it is what it ain't.
Yeah, sometimes in those instances, there's underlying things that are not being addressed, and a simple thing is now turned into something much larger because whatever that underlying issue was never addressed. So like Monica said, you just got to chalk it up as a loss. If you're not going to, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
It's a relationship.
Friendship breakup.
If you have to communicate these things, you can't just be in a relationship with no type of communication or no expressing how you're feeling in whatever time frame you need. So friendships are the same way. And if you're not going to do that, then maybe we shouldn't be friends.
But what's so disappointing, like you said, season 2, is that, like, I mean, for me, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys haven't stolen money from each other. You guys haven't had any physical altercations. It's like, what the fuck are you guys even beefing about?
Jealousy.
You know what?
Jealousy is a motherfucker. Be clear.
Yes.
Kelly was like, you fucked Andrew. No, I don't know why this bitch mad at me.
Kelly always comes through. Okay, here's my theory.
They were beefing last season. Remember, they had an issue of falling out last season when
over Ghost Bay. Over Ghost Bay.
That's right.
Jealousy factor.
Okay, this is my theory. You guys tell me what you think about this. So you ladies tell me what you think about it. Okay, theory time. So now I'm personally over Lawrence and Issa. I'm over it just because I want Issa to move forward. I want her to thrive. I want her to glow up. Okay, but like Lawrence and Issa are kind of like the Carrie and Mr. Big of Inglewood. Okay, and so here's the thing. What's money? What? Yeah. Okay. Less fabulous shoes. Molly has the red bottoms. Issa, she got the vintage thrift store stuff, and I'm not even hating on her because she works her stuff. Anyway,
Converse.
Yeah. So she has a Converse. So okay. So Lawrence and Issa are the Mr. Big and Carrie of Insecure of Inglewood. And what's Molly's biggest problem? Relationships. And so I think even as dysfunctional, and even though like Issa and Lawrence aren't together, that was a 5-year relationship. They are the great love story of this. Even though, like I said, I'm over it, but they're the great love story of this series. And Molly has not gotten that in any way, shape, or form. And so I think, you know, her real saltiness comes from Issa and Lawrence, the way she was like, and just throwing all this shade, and just the sight of Lawrence and Issa even talking really like set her off, because she's never had that. She hasn't even had enough of a relationship to have to balance work and thing, like what she said to Andrew. What do y'all think?
So you pointed out in the last part that she hasn't had that type of relationship to balance. She hasn't had a real relationship, self-inquiry. So for her, she doesn't know what that looks like. So I feel like she's impressing upon Issa what she normally does, but she's never had a successful relationship. So how can she tell you what you should or should be doing or feeling? Personally, I want them to get back together, but that's just my opinion.
Well,
sorry, unpopular opinion.
If you add into the fact what happened between, what's that girl name? Molly, her parents, and that breakdown and that fairy tale, then Molly don't know which way is up when it comes to relationships. But my theory is Molly just thinks she's superior to Issa and knows what's better for her, and is like, girl, if I had your life, I know exactly what direction I would be in, and I could tell you, I can lead you from point A to Z, but you don't listen. You caught up on this nigga Lawrence. You always losing a job. You can't get your shit together. Like, what's up? You know, so it's like Molly just feels superior. I hate the term. I hate like, I hate saying, oh, well, she's just jealous or she just jealous. I think it goes deeper than jealousy. I just think she thinks she's just better than her, and that's the only way she knows how to express it is just pointing out her imperfections and coming for her and just being so judgmental. And it's like, girl, keep living, because being 36, if my homegirl crept off with her ex, I'd be like, girl, good luck with that. Have fun. But it wouldn't be no,
I know, what's all that about? Why do you care?
Girl, live your life, because I'm over here living mine, and I'm making my own decisions, and I'm going to sleep with what the fuck I got going on every night. I don't really care what you're doing like that. So I think Molly, she don't have nothing going on. She don't have history in terms of relationships. And she not there yet, where she's not focusing on herself and letting people live their lives.
Sure. I mean, don't you think though that like Molly technically does have a lot going on? I mean, she has a super successful career, which she's really busy on, which she also, by the way, cannot set boundaries with her canceling her plans with Andrew, this, that, and the other. But Molly does have a lot going on. So why is she so caught up on Issa?
She has a lot going on paper. She doesn't have a lot going on inside. That's the difference. Like a lot of people get so caught up in things like titles, salaries, and all of these things like that you can't take with you. Like I'm gonna give you peace. She don't have self-love. She don't have self-love. You have the title, but you don't have value in yourself. So she starts to
now sorry, go deeper into that. Why don't you think she's lacks self-love?
The writing's on the wall.
Well,
puts up with.
Yeah, she puts up with a lot from work. She
can't even set the standard with Andrew. Like definitively, like this is what I deserve. This is what I want. This is how I want to be treated. She can't even come correct and say like, hey, this is my truth. I'm actually looking for a committed relationship with somebody. I'm actually looking to date you exclusively. She can't even get her truth. Because deep down on the inside, I think that she's worth that commitment, that that devotion of attention on her. Like it all goes back to yourself. So I think that's what it is. She doesn't have any I don't want to say she doesn't have any. She's lacking
lacking
of self-worth and self-value, and she's like a lot of us millennials who are looking for things to fill our buckets, but that will never happen. Like, you have to be full within yourself.
Yeah.
That overflow to appreciate everything else as a blessing.
This has been such a great conversation, but I do want to wrap it up. At least for our recording, we can continue chatting on our Zoom channel. But I just want to go around and I want you guys to give me your prediction because I think we're close to the halfway mark. We're finally getting to the block party with the next episode. We've seen the preview with Molly super hating. We don't see any evidence of Condola. I don't know if that's going to be a big reveal, but it does seem like Issa's finally getting her bearings about her, finally really coming into herself, which is so welcome after, 3.5 seasons now. I'm gonna start with you, Monica. What do you think is next and what do you want to see?
I want to see Issa and Lawrence not get back together. Well, no, because I want growth for both of them, maybe if they have more growth for both of them and then they come back together, but I feel like they're both on their solo journeys of growth. But I'm not quite ready for that. I also feel like the block party it'll be like a little bit of a shit show, but it'll be like also a success at the end of the day. And hopefully Molly will, I'm not during the block party, but maybe towards the tail end, they come together or something, because she just has, everyone said it has her own shit that she has going on that she needs to just get it together.
Season, what do you want to happen next?
Oh my God, so many things. Okay, so we saw that the block party ended with the electric slide, so we know it's going to be a success. But I think definitely seeing that Molly didn't want to go, I think it's going to be Andrew who calls her out on her shit against Molly. Because clearly Issa's going to be too busy to address Molly in the next episode, which fine, whatever. So I think Andrew's going to call Molly out on her shit with not just Issa, but him as well. Because she's just going to be such a sourpuss the whole time. And hopefully by the end of the episode, Molly has an aha moment like, dang, you've been putting all this together. I'm sorry I didn't help you, and I'm proud of you, and I want to, get back on track with you. So that's my hope, and that's what I think is going to lead to it. They're definitely, I would be a little disappointed, but obviously, Tiffany, is that the one who just had the baby?
Yeah, Tiffany.
She drinking a lot with this baby. Like, I hope they address postpartum issues. I don't think they will, but I'm hoping they do, and we just get to see more of what's going on with Tiffany other than that wig and her rosé.
Wow.
I love me some Kelly. They don't do her justice on any fucking episode. So give me more Kelly. That's what I want to see. And can Issa shed a fucking tear? Issa, where you at, girl? At least cry in the mirror,
Sure, she's watching right now.
Issa Rae is watching this. I'm putting Issa.
Hey, Issa.
Hey, girl.
Oh, shed a tear. At least let your mirror image shed a tear. Let her give it to her.
There you go.
Let her have a cry.
Let her get her NAACP Image Award moment. Okay.
Right. Get that nomination, girl. And I don't really have an opinion on Issa and Lawrence like that. So I'm just wherever the show takes it. I don't care if they get back together or not. I do think that he is the guy she would have been satisfied with, but I don't care. I don't care about that. I want to see other shit. I want to see more Kelly.
I would love to see more Kelly, and I do think that a lot could be resolved if, to your earlier point about Molly's superiority complex over Issa, if Molly could just see Issa as more of a peer, as an equal, and maybe if she can respect the work that Issa's putting in. Like, even at the mixer, she focused on Condola and Lawrence rather than the fact that Issa had gotten all these sponsors and things like that. So I definitely think that Molly respecting Issa as an equal and being proud of her could go a long way in establishing a truly mutually respectful relationship.
Yeah.
Rebecca, what are your thoughts?
So I just want to see Issa win. Seeing that I feel like it's coming soon, right? Especially, so if you look at her and Lawrence relationship, and I'm pro it because I feel like they have taken a step back and they are growing individually in what they're going through in their circumstances. Lawrence, through his relationships that he's having with these women, his STD, all of these things, seeing his baby, seeing his friend have a baby, and you know, that probably wasn't their original reality. So seeing that all set in, and Issa going through some of the things that Lawrence struggled with. They're now coming to this medium where they can see and maybe see that growth and understand perspectives that they didn't understand before. And I also think that needs to happen with Issa and Molly as well. Like everything that we thought was good, Molly, is not as perceived. So I think a lot of growth has to happen, and I'm hopeful that that Issa gets that, and I'm hopeful that Molly gets that as well, and that she can grow, and she can learn to communicate with those in order to get what she wants out of this as well, so that she can too, not just on paper.
Yeah, I agree with you. Shar, what are you thinking?
I second what Rebecca's saying. I just want to see Issa win. If not Issa, a Black female on this cast win. Take the W, please. In some fashion, win, Black women win. That's it. I
said that. I kind of fell off with the recaps. I did the first episode recap. I didn't do one for the second or the third one. I want to see Issa win. I want to see Black woman win. This is a show by Black woman, mostly for Black women, and the Black woman ain't winning. What kind of shit is that? I'm waiting for that. So that would be great. I think we're gonna get a win. Issa's gonna get a win in the next episode. But then what? Okay, because it's been building up to this, and we haven't seen that she has anything on the other side of that. So I'm interested in seeing Issa really dedicate some time to herself. She's been like super wrapped up in this project, and I think that's what women do sometimes, right? Like we get a project, we get wrapped up into it, and like they said, self-care Sundays fell off the map, you know. And I don't think it's just a matter of season, like you want to say something.
I mean, that's all we have control over most times is our career, is our work, and projects that are tangible. They're setting Issa up. This Ghost Bay nigga, obviously he heard about the Black Party, he might show up. And then there's Lawrence who might show up. And then you have this decision where you have this juggle or whatever. Then you got TSA Bay, who I don't know, is he out the picture? He might.
I don't know. I think several Plan Bs put him out the picture.
So you never. So you don't know, but I think they're setting it up. I think they're setting Issa up for a win, but that's just not the hit. That's not the show's run. And yeah, okay, go ahead, finish.
Yeah, maybe the show isn't about Issa winning. I mean, that's what we like to see, right? But maybe it's about just life and how things don't have a bookend or like a clear-cut win. I don't know. My life has some wins, some clear-cut wins, but I don't know. It's not my show, okay? So I just want Issa to get her
another season. So
yeah, well, they did. Congratulations, Issa Rae and the cast.
Congratulations.
Yvonne, Natasha, Amanda, Jay Ellis, all y'all. Congratulations on season 5.
Oh, yeah,
Please, maybe do a little bit more of a time jump, you know what I'm saying, instead of time backwards, so we could just see a little bit more like what's going on. But anyway, but I think we're all rooting for Issa. The good thing is I don't think that even with Molly and Issa beefing, I'm not rooting against Molly. I want Molly to win.
She should win too.
Yeah, no, and I think they all can win. And I think that like the strength, the core relationship of this show is the relationships that all of them have with each other. And so I'm hoping that there can be some communication, like everybody has said, particularly you, Rebecca, the communication is the biggest thing lacking, which is so crazy because, like I said, Molly had therapy for a whole ass season. Issa's listening to self-help.
Molly went to therapy to go through the motions. She didn't go to like really. I feel like she didn't go to really have like breakthroughs, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what?
That's deep.
Yeah.
Listen, you're not going to be changed unless you do. I've been in therapy for 2 years.
Me too. I've been to therapy before.
Exactly.
And are true to like thinking a therapist.
It ain't gonna work.
Exactly. Hello.
Work. Yeah. Otherwise, you just sit here and have a girlfriend chat all day.
Oh, you can be like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm not doing that, and blah blah, and then go out 10 minutes later and be like, you know, blue, you know, on that same bullshit.
On your same bullshit, yeah.
No.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
It's an honesty factor. It's like it's self accountability, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I think that the big takeaway, I think that we can, to close off this discussion, is that you have to look within yourself. You have to do the work within yourself. And it doesn't matter therapy, it doesn't matter career, it doesn't matter boyfriend, you know, non-boyfriend situation. If you're not doing the work within yourself and taking stock of yourself and what you're bringing to relationships and not just what you're expecting people to give you, then you're not going to be a good friend, you're not going to be a good partner. And so I'm hoping that we will see some self-inventory. I mean, I thought it was a little telling though that Issa's mirror was like, bitch, not today. Like, so I'm like, obviously her self-inventory is on pause.
Because you get tired of yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Listen.
You be like,
you know what she said? She said, I'm tired of hyping you up.
She's like, you be on your way to work cussing yourself out like, bitch, not today. Just go on to work, have a good day. Don't even do this to yourself.
She's like, bitch, I'm not lying. She's like, I'm not lying to you today, bitch. No, you don't have your shit together. I'm tired of you.
Can't do it every day.
I feel you. So everybody, quit. Don't go to the mirror to hype yourself out. Go to the mirror and talk to yourself about what the hell you could be doing better in your friendships and your relationships. And we will see you next time on Insecure.